Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. To help keep this podcast free for you, we're partnering with Stoke Seeds. More than just a listing of vegetable and flower seeds, the Stoke Seeds website is a complete resource center with valuable information on seed starting, planting, and harvesting, plus all the garden accessories you need to make your garden the envy of the neighborhood. Now, pre-order your free 2017 gardening guide today from stokeseeds.com, cultivating successful growers for generations. We'll have more to come from Stoke Seeds in the next few weeks. For now, on to today's question. Fred, this is actually talking about a plant that we haven't talked about very much on the program. You and I have spoken about it frequently off the air, but a lady writes in, she goes, I planted Caladium bulbs in the spring, and the Caladium was just beautiful. I dug up the bulbs. Can you talk a little bit about storing those for the winter? Can I store those in the basement just like I do my other bulbs? And then how soon can I put those out in the spring?
Okay, now I'm only good at one question at a time, so let's start with Caladium. I have a handle on that in my mind. They are frequently thrown away alive. Now, let's go from there backwards then to the fact she grew them all summer. I hope that she has them out of the freeze at this point. They are a plant that belongs in zone 10 or way south. They just do not handle cold at all. So I hope she has them dug. I hope that she has, let's just let them dry down, gently knocked off the excess dirt. I put them in, I call it a tomato bag, a potato bag, one of those red mesh type things.
Yeah, sure.
So that they can have airflow around and through them. And I hang them, because of convenience, I hang the bags on nails on the floor joists under my family room. That just simply a matter of an area that I know will not get below about 45 or 50 degrees. It's not heated and it's not warm. So they stay away that way. Now, the part that becomes tedious is in order to have Caladium ready to set out May 15th or later, because you want to watch for freeze guard, so to speak. You need to start those rascals in peat moss, in pots, and etc. At least 6 or 8 weeks earlier than you would some other things, because they're very slow to start to grow in the spring. When they do, then you've got to get light on them to keep them from getting tall and ugly and so on. But yes, she can store them. She can probably do as darn well as good a job as the dealer would or the grower, just by keeping them where they will have free air around them so they don't start to mold and so on. Using the bags I use or layers between newspaper in boxes that, for example, came to the grocer in strawberries or whatever, that have holes in the edge of the boxes so air can move through. Anything like that. Some people actually get those because their excess is going to be burned anyhow or whatever. They'd bring them home from the grocery store, and then they stack them with bulbs and things in them, maybe mark the end of the box what it is, all kinds of things. But Caladium can be handled exactly that same way. The main thing is to get them out of the ground in time, get them dried down so that there aren't any organisms, fungi and the like, growing in and around them. Then keeping them above 45, even above 50 for that matter. So yes, the basement is fine. I would go to a dark spot in the basement. Light can incite growth. I doubt that it would on Caladium, but it can. May 15, you'd want to start by March 15, 20 to get them into containers. You put them in the container of a good potting soil, whatever. You keep it moist, not wet. That's one of the keys. And then eventually they will start to break bud, still in perhaps that limited light area of the basement. Soon as they start to grow up, though, then you can do any kind of apparatus, if you will. I have a 4-foot long, well, I should say had, I don't do it anymore, but I had a 4-foot long fluorescent fixture, 2 bulbs. They were stated to be outdoor light, but whatever. I got the light down within about 6 inches, 8 inches of the growth tips on the Caladium, and then I had them hanging from a chain from nails in the floor joist in another part of the basement, so I could keep tucking them up one more chain link to keep them above the growth of height of the caladiums. And by May 15 or 20, or even June 1, because you have to be very careful to protect them once they go out, by June 1, it's warm enough and things are great, and caladium will just flourish for you again. So I hope this answers her general questions.
A little bit of work, but what a stunner.
Yes, what a stunner. They, and in many, many different colors. Some are named of cultivars, etc. I generally go with a mix. I use most of mine in a couple of above-ground containers because they'll handle that nicely. And I can move the container around. I can turn the container to keep them from going one direction for light, because of light, I should say, and so on. So, yeah, they're stunners. They do not handle the sun well. Brilliant morning sun from zip, which let's just say would be 6 a.m. until 8, where it's still cool light, be okay. But then you want them under a tree, under a patio overhead, whatever, so that they get high illumination. That's good, but very limited direct sunlight, because it'll just, well, I guess I would call it, it'll fry the leaves.
Yeah.
The plant isn't killed, but boy, the beauty is sure gone in a short order.
Hey, thanks again for listening to today's podcast. If you have any questions for Fred, go ahead and email us at fred@planttalkradio.com. And for the best selection of vegetable, flower, and herb seeds available, go to www.stokeseeds.com. Pre-order your free 2017 gardening guide today from stokeseeds.com, cultivating successful growers for generations.